And apologizing to everybody just tuning in now for starting later than I have been. Normally, I try and start at 6 p.m. on a Friday evening. However, the Bill Kelly podcast he did a special live event this evening at 6 p.m., and I did not want to interrupt it. Nor did I want to detract from your viewing of his show, because it's a good show. I enjoy watching it. I watched it earlier. So I thought, if I can get a chance to watch his show and then do my own, that kind of works out well. So here we are, Friday evening. It's sort of the end of the week. This is your weekly Grizzly Growl. I'm trying to give you a Friday week that was. And where to begin is the question. There are so many things to address this evening. Let's start with this from Theo Moudakis. If you've not seen this yet, it's truly unfortunate that you haven't, but I'm going to share it with you now. This was his cartoon. I think this was in Wednesday's Toronto Star, or was it Thursday's? I'm not sure. If you haven't seen this is from Theo, and it is, well, Mark Carney walking away with the thought bubble says, now that's what I call parenting. And in the background is Danielle Smith sitting on the floor with a board game, or a puzzle, I guess. It's this pipeline, agreement in principle, 1,000 pieces. And Danielle is playing with the puzzle pieces. Now, I personally think that's hilarious. I get a huge kick out of it. But a lot of people, I guess, lost their ever-loving minds. He's getting ready to go on stage, are you, sir?
Hello, how are you?
I'm all right.
Yeah, I just wanted to drop in very, very quickly. As you can see, got the stage makeup on there.
I do see that, yeah.
Aligned. Yeah, but about to go on in about 25 minutes.
Okay. I started later this evening because Bill Kelly did a live thing this evening, and I didn't want to detract from him. At the same time, I wanted to see the show, so it's like I can watch that and then do this at 7. So
yeah, absolutely.
I thought it worked out pretty well. Did you see this? The theme? I just showed this a second ago. You did? You're breaking.
I didn't hear you.
Oh, you saw this Theo Moudakis cartoon with Mark Carney and parenting? I guess people kind of lost their shit. And Linda's called it. I'm going to put it on the screen. It says, right-wingers suddenly became feminists and accused people of misogyny for that cartoon.
Yeah, there's no misogyny there. It's about her being childish. And she is.
Yes. A lot of folks who have...
There's a whole theme with Pierre and her in the backseat of the car. We're Pierre in the backseat of the car. So, I mean, the whole parenting theme, the Mark Carney being the adult in the room, is kind of a theme.
It has been for a while.
So it's about childishness.
Yeah, very much so. One of the other things I thought that struck me funny was, I know a lot of people have lost their shit over this, the MOU, and they're building a pipeline, and I'm like, hang on. Let's not fly off the handle just yet. First off, have you read the MOU?
Right.
I haven't read it. I haven't had a chance to. So I think I'll reserve judgment until I read it, number one. And number two, the assessments I've heard from people in the know is like, yeah, it's mostly about placating Danielle Smith for the most part. The country, Canada, is not building the pipeline. It's going to be built by the private sector. It has to have agreements from British Columbia and Indigenous nations. And I say nations because it goes on different cross treaties, different lands, different areas. So it's really about Danielle throwing her a herring, right? It's flicking a bone to her just to shut her the hell up.
Yep. For the way I see it, he's handed rope. Yeah. That's whether or not she's going to make something of it, or whether or not she swings.
Well, and you got to remember, this is people. I can't believe he settled down. Settle down. Look, Stephen Guilbeault did what he did for whatever reason he chose. I think he was premature in doing what he did, to be honest with you. I don't know if he's even read the MOU. As I understand it, there's a lot of closets in there that have to be, a lot of boxes need to be checked off by like a lot of other people before a shovel can even be put in the ground, which of course caused Pierre Poilievre to lose his ever-loving shit and go, when is this going to start? Oh, not how it works. Oh, you're frozen there, sir.
Just saying that I gotta go. Am I unfrozen now?
Yeah, I can hear you again. Yeah, you were totally frozen. I couldn't hear anything. It was all digital and choppy.
Yeah, I've got to run because 21 minutes before stage and I got to get into the rest of my costume. But I just wanted to say hello and just have a little bit of time with you because I missed you.
Well, thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. I'm going to try and do something every day at around 4 p.m. I was going to drop that later on and say I'm going to come in and try and do a Grizzly Growl every day at 4 p.m. So it could be anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes. Just try and say, here's what I learned today, sort of thing. Just so I can stay in touch, you know? I'm going to try.
Good.
I'm going to try.
All right.
All right. Well,
all right.
Take care.
Bye, everyone. Bye, my friend.
Break a leg. Break a leg.
Thanks.
Mr. Beaver popping in to say hello just before he takes the stage. I think this is the last weekend of the show. Correct me if I'm wrong, folks. I believe it is the last weekend of the show. So hopefully he breaks all the legs tonight. That's how it works, right? Isn't it? There you go. Thank you, Kat. Says the MOU has a timeline until July. He set the trap and she just fell into it. Yeah, this is the thing. People losing their ever-loving minds. I get your initial gut reactions. What is he doing? I thought he was going to, I'm like, hang on. And the reason I'm not panicking or even getting upset, I thought my first take on it was, let me see what it has to say. And I've not read it yet. I will. Over the weekend, I'm going to try and read it. But here's why I chose not to get upset. It was a choice to not get upset. I'm like, hang on a second. Mark Carney is a very intelligent businessman, very intelligent banker, a very proud and compassionate Canadian who believes in preserving the environment for the future generations. So if he was going to have a document like this drafted up, it would have a million stipulations in there. I's dotted, T's crossed, check boxes filled. It wouldn't be, oh, we're going to build a pipeline. No. And Pierre Poilievre, of course, being the rage farming a-hole that he is. I'm really trying to be polite, but the rage farming a-hole that he is. When will this pipeline get built? Well, Pierre, it's up to the private sector. It's not we're not doing this with taxpayer funds. It's private sector that's going to build it. If it gets built, it's got to be done with the private sector. That is the one thing about the MOU I do know. It's private sector. So settle down, little boy. Now, in other news, I find this one to be absolutely interesting, fascinating, and captivating. If you've not seen this or heard about this was from, well, earlier today, actually, not that long ago, because it's an hour behind time zone wise. I'm going to show you a video. It's only 29 seconds, the video, and then I'll talk to you about it right after we have a look at this. This is the Premier of Manitoba, Wab Kinew.
Pipelines make Albertans rich, but transmission lines make Manitobans rich. So let's build transmission lines to connect all of Canada, from Manitoba to the western provinces, to Ontario in the east, going north to Nunavut. We need to connect all of Canada with new transmission lines.
This agreement is a big step towards that vision. Teamwork makes the clean energy dream work. Sorry for the mum joke there.
So I apologize for the audio. I have no control over the source in the audio quality. You know, it was not up to my standards, obviously, but there's nothing I can do about it. It's the source. It says a Canada-wide electricity grid is an idea whose time has come. Manitoba has the electricity to power the provinces. It'll help keep your hydro bills affordable and help the climate. Thanks to Bridget DePape for the support today. Now, what I find fascinating about this is, didn't we just talk about how Nova Scotia is going to build offshore wind farms to do much the same thing? So we're going to have clean, renewable power to run the country. And in Ontario, a lot of our power is hydro, hence the Ontario Hydro. Or Hydro 1, I guess it is now. In Ottawa, I'm connected to Ottawa Hydro. And admittedly, it's not outrageously expensive. It has gone up a lot since I first moved in here. Now, I have been in this place for 15 years, going on 16. When I first moved in, it was $30 a month. Now it's closer to 77. So that's a huge increase, yes, percentage-wise. And it's been stable. It's been around that number for a few years now, though, mind you. So it's been around $70 plus for the last 5 or 6 years. So it's kind of stabilized and plateaued. And I get it. Costs are increasing, but it's a public service. It's a city service. Ottawa Hydro is a city-owned entity. So the larger picture here is when you get up in the morning to start your day and your alarm clock goes off and you turn on your TV or your radio and you fire up your coffee machine and maybe your toaster or your microwave to microwave some oatmeal or whatever you do in the morning to get your day started. Turn on the lights, have a shower with nice hot water, all of which, for the most part, has been provided by, in my case, Ottawa Hydro, a municipal-run utility, which is why it's very important to vote in municipal elections. Because my day begins using municipal services provided by the municipality that I live in. So voting in a municipal election is the most important one you're ever going to vote in because it affects the very fabric of your life every single day. There's your civics lesson. So let me get a sip of water and we'll move on to another thing. Very thirsty this evening. It's hot under these lights, you see. So, trying to contain myself here. There's a few things that need to be discussed. In the province of Ontario, we have a premier Doug Ford, who I'm sure you've heard of. If you haven't heard of him, well, welcome to the channel, and I'm introducing you to Doug Ford, the most corrupt premier the province of Ontario has ever seen, and it's not even a competition. You know, it's gotten to the point where the leader of the NDP for the provincial party of Ontario literally called him out for corruption in provincial parliament. It happened recently. Merritt Stiles yelled at him for giving $10 million to the owner of a strip club. And I'm not making this up. This really did take place. And we touched on it the other day. What was it? Wednesday? Thursday? Was it Thursday? Yes, yesterday morning. I had to think about that. Mr. Beaver and I lightly touched on that just the other day, on how $10 million was handed out to the owner of a strip club. And it was for, what was it, Ontario Jobs or Ontario Innovation? Or it was just more hush money. It was just more money to give to one of his donors who's given him money, and Lord knows what else. Well, Doug Ford, being the corrupt piece of human fecal matter that he is, has gone one step further. Did you know that there's laws in the province of Ontario enacted, I believe it was under Kathleen Wynne. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I may be wrong. It might have been Dalton McGuinty, but I'm pretty sure it was Kathleen Wynne who enacted a law that protects your reward points from expiring because time's passed. So, you know, your reward, like air miles or PC points, or these miles that we collect, these points that we collect on these loyalty cards for different companies. Well, in the province of Ontario, they don't expire. They're not allowed to. There's a law that says, no, you can't make those expire. People decide to save them. It's like a savings account, and eventually they're going to use them. Maybe they pass them on to their children because people get older, and it's their right. It's their points. They can do what they want with them. Well, the law protects them. But in the government of Ontario's latest red tape bill, there's a clause that removes those protections. And here is a little video from Liberal MPP Stephen Blais. And I hope I don't get a copyright violation for this, but we may. I may have to edit this part out later on the taped version, if you will. Have a look at this.
They're trying to sneak through behind-the-scenes tax grab by eliminating reward points. People have spent time with loyalty reward points, earning them at Petro-Canada, Shoppers Drug Mart, on their credit cards, and they have a red tape reduction bill that's going to allow reward points to expire with the passage of time. That was a big issue in 2016, which is why the previous government brought that legislation in. And right before Christmas, the Grinch is going to steal families' hard-earned reward points that they can't use to help buy Christmas presents for their kids.
One more example of why Doug Ford is just a corrupt, vile, walking piece of human fecal matter. Just one more reason to dislike the man. He's going to make it so that your points expired because his corporate puppet masters demand that this happens because they don't want to give you free shit. Doesn't matter that you get 8 million points and you can get that Harrier jet. He wants to make it so you can't. There's a cultural reference in there. If you know what I'm talking about, you're old enough to remember. And if you don't know, you can look it up. But this is where we are, folks. We are living in the land of corrupt politicians who are robbing us blind, and we've got nothing, no recourse, no way to stop them. Hell, I mean, this is the latest from Theo, our friend Theo Moudakis. Ford Mart, Black Fridays, Friends of the Premier Sweetheart Deals. He's not even trying to be subtle anymore. Now, that's a brilliant cartoon from Theo because it's accurate. It's realistic. It's damn well believable because all of the evidence points to it. It's just unbelievable how far we've fallen as a society that we've allowed ourselves to vote for absolute lying pieces of shit because we're worried about the other person and what they may do. Meanwhile, we are electing people into power who are literally robbing us blind, giving money to people that they care about, but it sure as hell isn't you or I. It isn't Johnny, average taxpayer, or Jill, average taxpayer. It's the wealthy donor class that get all of the gifts and the grifts. And we get screwed in the process. I mean, do we want to talk about Therm and how much money that's going to cost us? How he destroyed Ontario Place? How he has shut down the Science Centre saying that it's going to collapse any minute now, when the building is designed to last for 250 years and the roof is completely fine. He just wants to give it to one of his friends so he can develop that glorious piece of land into, we're going to build homes. Doug Ford is not building anything, nor is the province of Ontario. Any homes that are built by government in this province are being done so by the federal government of the provincial, the government of Canada, the federal government of Canada, not the province. The province isn't building anything. Private developers are. And Doug will say, we're building homes. No, Doug, we aren't. Your wealthy developer friends are. We, the province of Ontario, the tax-paying citizens of Ontario, aren't building a damn thing because you keep giving all of our money away to your friends. It makes me shake my head. We don't have the ability to recall any members of provincial parliament. How do we get this guy to pay the price that he needs to pay for the damage that he has done to this province and the people thereof? For the people he has harmed. What do I say? What can you say? What can we do? How do we make it so that the province of Ontario is a place where people want to come to live and have a family and start a business? When unless you show up as a millionaire, you're not getting help. Not from the province. There might be somebody in the city with the federal government, but the province isn't going to lift a finger for you unless you've got millions of dollars to donate to them. This is where we are. All right. One more thing I want to get to this evening, because I like to keep these short and sweet on a Friday evening. 25, 35 minutes. I could go for an hour, but I don't want to. Quite frankly, it's Friday evening. I thought I'd give you a couple of minutes. We come in and hang out for a little bit, and I'll talk about some things that I think should be discussed. And the one thing that I don't know if I want to discuss it or not. It's the elephant in the room, and my mom hates that saying so much. I don't know why she does. She just does. But it's the elephant in the room, and that's Trump and his take on, about 9 different things actually in the last 24 hours. The one thing I'm going to start with right away is I read this on the BBC. Trump is going to permanently pause refugee migration. I'm sorry, what? And they were quoting him, permanently pause. So you mean end it? Permanently pause? You mean end it? Permanently. This man butchers the English language so much and speaks in circles and never says a damn thing most of the time. If you ever read a transcription of his speech, you will think, how did this man ever make? Oh, right, he made money because his daddy gave him $400 million. That's right. Because there's no damn way on this earth could that guy make money on his own. Well, earn it. If you make it, you go to prison. That's illegal. It's called counterfeiting. Don't make money. Earn money. Go out and work for it, but earn it. Don't make it. Making money is illegal. Yes, I'm being pedantic, but my goodness, come on. You can't make money. If you do, you committed a crime. Need more water. That's a very good question, Nona. I'm going to put this on the screen for those of you sitting at home. Nona poses the question, I have often wondered how Parliament would work if a majority of independents were voted in. That's a wonderful question because I think, in all honesty, Nona, I think it's time we start examining that a little bit deeper. Because party politics, it's gotten to be stupid. I mean, we had, prior to the Carney-led Liberal Party, who is now the Government of Canada, we had the Trudeau-led Liberal Party as the Government of Canada. And they had a supply and confidence agreement with the NDP. Jagmeet Singh-led NDP. Now, a supply and confidence agreement is not a what was the term they used for a form of government where two parties joined together? I can't even coalition. It's not a coalition. Not a coalition government. It never was a coalition government. It was a supply and confidence agreement. And we got to remember that Jagmeet told us several times in one speech that he ripped it up. He ripped up the a supply and confidence agreement between two parties to see that they could get things done. And they did get things done. $10 a day daycare, a dental health program, along with a school lunch program. All good programs that benefit millions of Canadians. The school lunch and $10 a day daycare do not directly benefit me in any way, shape, or form directly. I don't have kids, so they don't need school lunches, and I don't need daycare. But those programs will benefit me in the long term because it gets more women back into the workforce because they can afford daycare instead of having to stay home, because a lot of people ran the numbers and said, well, I can't afford to go to work and work for X number of dollars an hour and then have to put out most of that to, it's like, when you run the numbers, in many cases, it does not make fiscal sense to have a child in daycare and have two parents working. In many cases, it's cheaper to stay home. And then, of course, you've got folks who scream, well, why am I paying to feed somebody else's children? I'll tell you why. Because they're children, asshole. You would rather have a child starve so you could save what? $100 a year in taxes? Feed children. Take care of them. Someday, they might have to take care of you. And many of them will go, well, you were a prick to me when I was younger. So, maybe I don't change your bedpan today. Don't be an asshole. Be a good person. It's easier to do. Sorry, I just a little fired up this evening. Had a long week. Had a couple of days off because I was sick. And feeling obviously much better. Not 100%, but I'm 100% better, if that makes any sense. But yes, I get angry at people who like to use extreme examples. Well, 5 people abuse the system, so nobody should get anything. Yes, that's right. Let's punish everybody. Everybody gets painted with the same brush because 5 people abuse the system. Now, when I say 5 people, I'm doing that as a hyperbolic method. You have to understand that when they did the research to disseminate how many people were actually abusing welfare systems across the country, the percentage was so small that it was not even mentionable. You have to understand they're getting such a tiny amount of money to begin with. Most people just want to try and get ahead. Well, what if they take that money and use it to get drunk? What? So what? It's their money. But they're on welfare. That's my hard-earned tax dollar. Uh-huh. What? So are people supposed to suffer because you pay taxes? I pay taxes. I don't have an issue with it. When I give you something, what you do with it is your business. That's how it's supposed to work. Well, I don't like that person painted that house that color. It's not your house. Well, I don't like it. Okay. You're an asshole. It's like when you're standing in the lineup at a sandwich place where they make submarine sandwiches, and the person in front of you orders a submarine sandwich and puts on ingredients that you find disgusting. And you go, that's terrible. I would never eat that. You shouldn't eat that either. Actually, you shouldn't tell somebody else what to eat, number one. Number two, why are you telling us this? What is the purpose of you telling us this? This is how you sound this is what you sound like when you talk about taking away women's right to make a choice about their bodies, or whether or not people who love one another should get married. I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but I got a million thoughts going through my ADHD brain, and sometimes I just wander. Thank you, Nona. No child should be hungry. Well, that kid failed. Yeah, no, you know why the kid failed? Because we failed them. I have this conversation frequently with a lot of people in my peer group and people younger than me. And I say this all the time. I've said this on this show many times, and I will say it till the day I die. Our society is a failure because we have food banks and homeless people. Neither of those should exist in Canada in 2025. They should never exist, but they really shouldn't exist in 2025. We are a rich nation. You know why they exist? Because people want them to. Because there are people who need to look down on others, number one, and number two, there are people who profit off of it. Because poverty is a business. Our friend Dan talked to us about that. He knows, he's seen it, he's lived it, he's been there. There are people who profit off of poverty. The system is broken. It needs to be smashed and rewritten. I'll take a line from the tech bros: move fast and break things. In this case, we need to move fast and break this thing, because there is no excuse for food banks. There is no excuse for homeless. Well, there's no. We have the money to fix these problems. We do. Use my tax dollars to fix these. We have the money. We have the means. We just don't have the fucking motive. And that is truly sad. All right, folks. I'm gonna head out. I was gonna touch on the Trump stuff, but there are people celebrating the fact that the highly offensive word that I will not use starts with R. I think you know where the rest of that word goes. And there are people celebrating the fact that the president used it, so he's like, he officially gave us the word back. Basket of deplorables. Apologies if you were offended by my four-letter words. I get fired up, and sometimes I don't know a better word to use. Largely because that's the term that kind of knocks it out of the park for, I'd say, most of humanity. The folks who do get offended, I am sorry if you're offended. No, I genuinely don't mean to offend anybody. But there are times when there is not a better term to be used. If you can come up with one, and here's the key. I know there are better words. That's not up for debate. But it needs to be understood by the vast majority of people, and those folks who may tune into this. The folks who will, after this show is over, will go and share this with others. And say, hey, have a look at this guy. Have a look at these fellas. They put something together that's kind of special, and I think you would enjoy it too. Every now and then an F-bomb will get dropped, and an A-bomb will get dropped, but they are appropriate because they fit the manner in which they are used. So thanks for coming out, folks. You know how much we appreciate each and every one of you. Thank our title sponsors, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, CanadianTarot.ca, and the Peppermaster, who have been with us since the very beginning. If you want to drop us a line, you can hit us up at, I'm just looking for, where did I put the, there it is. I'm like, if you want to drop us a line, you can hit us up at truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com. It is across the bottom of the screen right now, truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com. The other thing about that email address is if you like what we're doing and you want to send us a couple of bucks to say, hey, we appreciate you, you can do it there. It goes directly into the corporate account. And then we use that money to put it back into the show, because all of this costs. If you want to donate through coffee, we have our coffee page, ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver. Certainly, by all means, feel free to go there if you like. And of course, you can always just scan the QR code, which is right above my digital picture frame in the background there. You can give that a scan if you want to donate some of your hard-earned dollars there. And look, if you can't, if you're not in a position to donate, don't worry about it. The content is free. The content is free. It's just, you can help us out if you like. We really do appreciate it. So, all of that being said, every aspect of it, we appreciate each and every one of you for coming out and supporting us. I am going to, as I said earlier at the top of the show, I am going to do my best to try and do something every day around 4 o'clock, a little Grizzly Growl, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. I don't know. We'll see what I got to say, but it's going to be my take on the things that took place during that day, because I can't join the show at 7 a.m. because I'm at work and I'm in a secure area and I don't have access to my phone or computer. Anyway, you know how it is. I have access to computer, but I can't do this. Thank you, Linda. Thanks everybody for joining, and please feel free to share this with everybody you know. We appreciate each and every one of you. We're happy you came out to see us, and we'll see you soon.